Hello YouTube, VidHead85 here. I'm here with this video today. I forgot where the magazine is. There is a magazine called Pause, and mainly one of the biggest reasons why I have a lot of these magazines is because I like to know about HIV, and I actually know a lot more today than I did 4 years ago. I now know that I can date someone who's HIV positive. That is not a barrier to dating me, because one, I am going to treat every single person that I date as if they do have it. And that's something that everybody must do. You know, like, they may not look sick, you know, they may not have not progressed in their HIV to where they have the sunken cheeks, you know, it's just something that everybody, it takes all of us together to end this epidemic. But because of the epidemic, we have this man is Robert Suttle. This man is Nikki Rose of Iowa. It's quite cute too. I like him. And this beautiful lady here is Monique Moret from Somerville, South Carolina. All these three individuals have something in common, and they have been criminalized for being HIV positive. Robert Suttle came home one day, and there it was on the kitchen counter. It was a search warrant. He had met someone on New Year's Eve in 2007, and they had a casual relationship. And when he stopped seeing the guy, he kept threatening to press charges for not having initially disclosed his HIV status. But Robert did disclose his HIV status. He had to register as a sex offender. And while he was in jail, he knew that he needed a new plan, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to look up and see what's happening to me. And he found out it was criminalization. That was a turning point in his life. He's traveled to Oslo speaking about his story and joined the Positive Justice Project in the HIV Justice Network. And he's also moved to Pennsylvania to work with CERO, a non-profit initiative combating HIV criminalization, stigma, and discrimination, and promoting the empowerment of people with HIV. And a lot of people are very ignorant of transmission of HIV/AIDS, and they remain ignorant and think that just because someone has it, they're automatically going to pass it on. That's very unfortunate. Nick Rhodes is HIV positive. He had sex. He has an undetectable viral load, and he was sentenced to 25 years in prison. But letters from advocates got the judge to reconsider the sentence after being released for a year. He still has sex offender registration requirements that are very draconian, and his life has been forever changed. He was working in a video store, taking time out to get his life back together. He was came back home to be close to his family and finding the right kind of care. And he met someone, and they had casual sex, and they were, and he used a condom. And I believe it says that 3 armed policemen, detectives, approached him at his place of business and asked him to accompany him to the police station. And he had a one-time encounter with a gentleman that he met online, and a week or so later, a warrant had been issued to arrest him for criminal transmission of HIV. And the fact that transmission did not occur didn't matter. And due to minimum sentencing, a lot of right-wingers had minimal sentencing for different crimes and passed under the Reagan administration. He was to receive a 25-year sentence. However, that was mitigated. He had his day in court. Letters to the judge had their effect, and he was released after a year. And he cannot be around minors, even family members, without their parent supervision. He is not. His phone and text records can be confiscated at any time, including anyone who lives with him. He's not allowed to have casual sex, watch pornography, or use social networking sites. He can't leave the county without permission, or the state without a travel permit. Has a midnight curfew, cannot have liquor in his home or visit a bar, and every 6 months he must take a polygraph test and visit his probation officer every 2 weeks. All because he had sex, he used a condom, there was no transmission. Another woman, the woman Monique Moray, was in the Army. She was discharged following a humiliating trial, and she was pregnant, and she found out she was HIV positive, and she tried to move on as best as she could, and she didn't know what the Army would do with her, but she knew that she needed treatment, so she marched into the supervisor's office and told her that she was HIV positive, but she didn't have to. She got the treatment she needed. Her baby was HIV negative, and she started, reliving her life again. And a few months later, she met a fellow soldier, and she let him take her out. 5 months later, she got a second phone call. After she told him that he needed to use a condom. Period. Dot. End of story. That was it. She got a second call 5 months later, one from her supervisor with a lot of personal questions, and at the end of the call, she was told to report to go to base. She was immediately charged and arrested with sexual assault. Children was taken from her and put into her parents' custody, moved out of family housing and into barracks, and everything just, she was accompanied everywhere for the time of trial. The court and prosecutors asked intimate details and stopped numerous times to look into the science about HIV, but then the charges were dropped. Her partner's testimony saved her, and he asked them to let her go. He said he was responsible for his own actions and confirmed that he was told that he needed to wear a condom. She wasn't convicted, but she was discharged from the U.S. Army. And now, for the next 2 years, it was in and out of psychiatric wards, and in 2010, after her last hospital stay, she went to her father's church and told everybody that she was HIV positive. It was very much, she thought that they were going to throw her out, but they rallied around her. I wonder if they would have done the same thing if she were a gay man. And she wasn't the pastor's son, and she wasn't the pastor's daughter. But I'm glad that she got that support that she got. Well, HIV criminalization, passing the virus on knowingly should be a crime. It has often been expanded so that it will stigmatize those who do not pass on the virus and who are taking every single step to protect themselves and others. The prosecutors in these cases do not care if transmission occurred or if they disclosed already. They just want a conviction. That's just how it is. They need a conviction. And these laws, while I understand why they're there, the way that they're implemented, a lot of times it's not the law itself. A lot of times it's the way it is implemented, and that anyone could bring a charge of criminal transmission of HIV, and it is automatically, you're presumed guilty before you can prove your innocence, and you're supposed to be innocent, so proven guilty. But we all know that that is not the case. Many HIV positive people are out there. You may work with them. You may even be sleeping with one of them. But their HIV status is not a crime, and it should not be held as such. They should disclose, but you should also be using condoms, because even though it's not 100% effective, abstinence is the only 100% effective way. It is very, very unlikely that you will catch HIV using condoms. This is the side of HIV stigma that often people do not know. I had no idea until a contact in North Carolina told me that you could be jailed for simply having sex and you're HIV positive. Automatically that's a crime. Well, it shouldn't be. I feel that if you are HIV positive and you do not tell the other person that you're dealing with that you're HIV positive, or at least insist on using a condom, then I do believe that you should be charged. But again, these laws are being used to stigmatize people with HIV unnecessarily, and it discourages treatment. It discourages testing. If you don't know that you're HIV positive, how can you spread it? Or how can you be charged with spreading it when you didn't even know? And more than likely, that person will, of course, probably be sentenced to jail time because they didn't know and they didn't take the time to know. So it's a double-edged sword that only swings one way in this case. Have a great day, YouTube. See you later.